Hunter is a very profitable skill, although it is typically relatively intensive through most methods. Many important high-level quests require Hunter, namely Monkey Madness 2 at 60 Hunter, and Song of the Elves at 70. Hunter is trained by trapping various creatures, and the amount of traps you can lay increases with every 20 levels, up to 5 traps at level 80 Hunter. The skill starts off with pretty slow, terrible methods, but speeds up dramatically once you can lay 5 traps. Hunter has little in the way of equipment upgrades other than the traps you can buy. You'll want to buy a decent pile of ropes, small nets, and box traps. The most useful outfit for Hunter for the most part is the graceful outfit, as you often are doing quite a bit of running around. It's a misconception that the camo outfits like the Larupia outfit help with Hunter. They are purely cosmetic. Starting off with the skill, you want to finish the Natural History Museum quiz in the Varrock Museum basement. You talk to Orlando Smith and go to every exhibit answering the questions. Runelight will tell you the correct answers. Finishing this gives 1000 Slayer and Hunter XP, getting you straight to level 9 in both skills. There are a handful of quests that give Hunter XP, but unfortunately all of them require Hunter. From levels 5 up until level 80, Birdhouses are technically the fastest Hunter training method, providing 50k XP an hour even at level 5. I'd recommend doing these until at least level 60, as they are significantly faster than other methods. These require the Bon Voyage quest to be completed in order to access Fossil Island. To do a birdhouse run, you need 4 clockworks, a hammer, and a chisel, and 4 logs of the best type of birdhouse you can make, along with at least a stack of 40 hop seeds and a dig site pendant. You just teleport to Fossil Island, take the mushroom straight to the Verdant Valley and place these 2 birdhouses, then use the mushroom back to Mushroom Meadow and grab the last 2 birdhouse spots. It's a pretty common misconception that birdhouses are the most efficient XP to 99, but it is a solid method and the fastest non-tick manipulated Hunter XP in the game, capping at about 200k XP an hour with redwood birdhouses. You need to do over 2,000 birdhouse runs to hit 99, which even if you do 5 birdhouse runs a day would take well over 1 year to accomplish. For most, I would recommend doing Herbivore or Black Chinchompas when you have the level to do those. Even if you hate birdhouse runs like I do, or are making an ult where you maybe don't have weeks to wait for Hunter levels, the minimum level I would stop doing them is at level 43. At this point, falconry becomes decent, as you can catch spotted kevets. This is the best consistent method from levels 43 to 60. You can gain roughly 60k XP an hour at level 43. The falconry pen is located at the east side of Piscatoris. The fastest way here is Fairy Ring AKQ. I'd highly recommend bringing a Bone Crusher if you're doing falconry, as it will prevent bones from going in your inventory and having to drop them alongside the fur. The graceful outfit is also helpful as you will be running around quite a bit. It's best to stand as close to the kevet as you can, as the falcon has travel time like a projectile and will take longer to catch kevets that are further away. You can catch dark kevets at level 57 for 3 levels. These are only a bit faster than spotted kevets. From level 60 to 67, you can start doing red salamanders. You can technically catch them at level 59, but only have access to 3 traps, so it's best to finish this level off at falconry. These are found right next to the entrance to the Ziamai altar. You can use the Lunar Urania teleport to get here, or the Battlefield Spirit Tree. You definitely want graceful for this, as the salamanders weigh 4 each. You shouldn't let your inventory fill up and release them relatively quickly. You can shift-click release them very easily. The traps each require a small fishing net and rope. Bring 5 of each so you can build a trap when one collapses immediately. These are around 80 to 100k XP an hour, which is a huge jump from falconry. From level 67 to 73, you can do black salamanders. In the wilderness, you can place an additional trap, so bring 6 ropes and nets instead of 5 like before. I just wear a dragon dagger when hunting here. PKers are extremely rare here, and the occasional PKer looking for spades might get scared off by a little ragger dumping DDS specs. I don't even bring a teleport here. It's faster to just die and re-gear if someone decides to PK you here. At level 73, you can start doing Black Chinchompas. This is the best money you can make from Hunter, while also being the fastest experience if you tick manipulate all the way to level 99. These have the exact same catch rate as red Chinchompas, and are very good XP, while also being around 1 mil GP an hour without manipulating. These are found just south of the canoe, just above level 30 wilderness. When I was hunting these without tick manipulation or ulting, I was getting very similar rates to Herbivore, about 120k XP an hour in the 90s. It'll be a bit slower until you can use a 6th box trap at level 80 Hunter. These are the best option to hunt if you are looking to obtain the Chinchompa pet, with a 1 out of 83,000 chance per Chinchompa, as opposed to from red chins with a 1 out of 100,000 chance. On 2200 worlds, I would encounter PKer only every couple of hours. In a decent setup, PKers need extremely good gear to even have a chance of PKing you. I successfully tanked a guy with a harm staff who full TB'd me, just as an example. Black chins are not in multi. You are only a few steps away from level 30 wildy, where you can teleport away. And if you get TB'd, you can easily just run over to the hobgoblins to the west and X-log on them. On non-2200 worlds, PKers are a lot more common, but typically wear things like salad robes or mystics, and they have no chance of killing you in that gear. They're just annoying and make you bank. For gear, I wear something like this. You want some kind of ranged weapon for tagging the Chinchompas that run off. Something with decent range and quick speed is usually best, like a magic shortbow or hunter's crossbow. I found darts are also really good. They have very short range, but they're so fast you can use them in between resetting traps and waste no ticks. I wear any Mage Arena 1 cape for mage defense, Varrock's helm for tanking, black D-hide, Barrow's gloves, and mystic boots all for mage defense. For inventory, I bring a bulwark and ancient staff switch. Ancient staff is just for the mage defense when trying to avoid getting frozen or TB'd, and the bulwark is for when tanking while frozen. Flowers are so I can X-log on the hobgoblins if I need to, and then I take 6 box traps, a few anglers, a pile of brews, and around 4 restores. Stam and anti-venom are very handy here. People often will use a toxic staff of the dead to venom you here. I also bring a trash axe to take the canoe here, a gnome seed pod to teleport at level 30 wildy. You can use a glory if you don't have one of these, that's totally fine. And house tabs for resupply or teleport here quickly with the obelisk. If the bulwark nerf goes through, I'm really not sure why Jagex is so insistent on this, but whatever. You should instead bring a Staff of the Dead and Spectral Spirit Shield. The Staff spec halves all melee damage you take for 1 minute, and the Spectral gives much needed magic defense. You can also swap the Phoenix Necklace for Glory. Both of these are a solid option. I don't claim to have the best method for hunting Chinchompas. You can 100% get better rates if you're sweaty about it. I personally found tick manipulation was not really worth doing here without an ult to shoot Chinchompas for you. I just tagged this little Chinchompa right here with Runelight so I could tell where he would respawn and know to kill him if he ran off. I just built 6 traps in this formation, and this one Chinchompa should keep you busy all the time with no tick manipulation. If the Chin runs away, I try to throw a dart at him as I reset the trap, as your character will automatically set the trap back up after you throw the dart. When you encounter a PKer, it's really easy to escape. There are 2 different things you need to do depending on if you got TB'd or not. If you see them coming, obviously try to log out first. If you don't and get frozen but not TB'd, throw on your bulwark, pray melee and augury, and just spam food and drink restore until you are unfrozen. You can try to switch prayers if you feel comfortable doing that, but you really don't have to. After you unfreeze, run south a little bit and telly. Extremely easy. If you get TB'd, you now need to run to the hobgoblins. Tank freeze is the same as before by throwing on bulwark. When the freeze is running out, get your staff and D-hide shield back on and run as far as you can before you get frozen again. Just repeating this process. Once you get to the hobgoblins, run into the center of them. When one is attacking you, start hitting it with flowers. If you run far enough, the PKer will also get hit by a hobgoblin at some point, immediately taking them off you. Once you are hitting the goblin with a fun weapon, just close your client. Your character will log out after 2 minutes of hitting the hobgoblin, and there's literally nothing the PKer can do to stop you. It is very difficult to get PK'd here, no matter the PKer's gear. Make sure you combo eat your anglers, then your brews if you need to heal quickly after they spec you or something. And keep drinking restore to keep your mage level back up so their freezes land less often. I typically bank after collecting about 500 Chinchompas. You can likely catch thousands here safely though. If you're getting ragged by these noobs often, it might be good to take a dragon dagger to spec them out before tellying, just to get them to leave you alone. There are many alternatives to black Chinchompas, as they're definitely intensive considering their location. My preferred method to 99 is unlocked at level 80, which is Herbivore. Boars are very decent money, while also providing competitive XP rates and being much less click intensive than trapping things. You can find these on Fossil Island, requiring 80 Hunter, and the herbs you loot from them scales with your herb lore level. These are also a decent source of fossils. I'd highly recommend getting 99 herb before you grind out Hunter here, as it seriously increases your chance of Ranars. These have a unique pet, so if you want herby, you're going to have to catch these. The pet is rolled at a rate of 1 out of 6,500. You have roughly a 50% chance of getting the pet before 99 if starting at 80. For gear, you need as much run energy as you can get, so wear full graceful. Magic secateurs increase the amount of herbs you get, but the farming cape doesn't, so just bring the secateurs. This is probably the most useful place to use a ring of endurance, so if you can afford one, this is the great place to use it. An herb sack is extremely useful here if you have one, although you can also note herbs on the tool leprechaun if you don't have one. With the Ring of Endurance, I bring about 4 stamina potions, which last just over an hour. Without the ring, I would bring 8 staminas. Your herb sack typically fills up right around the hour mark here, and you can go to bank on the island with the boat. You can optionally bring items for birdhouse runs as well, and do them when they are ready, as you are right next to them anyways. Doing these will boost your XP rates quite a bit. You start at one of the rocks around the island and click on the object's runelight highlights until you reach a hole and find a boar. Check it and continue hunting them. You have a long period of time to run to the next object, making this much less intensive than other hunter options. The amount of XP you get per boar scales with hunter levels. 120k XP an hour is possible at level 80. This scales up to 150k XP an hour at 99. At 99 herb, I was also getting about 500k GP an hour in herbs, which isn't quite as good as Black Chinchompas, but is very solid. Another great option from level 60 with completion of Monkey Madness 2 is monkey trapping. From my experience, these are typically 20k XP an hour less than herbivore at any given level, and provide break-even GP an hour, but are by far the most AFK method of hunter training. These are located in the monkey tunnels on Ape Atoll, and require your Kruk Grigri to cross the monkey bars and trap. These require bananas to trap, so I bring 5 loose bananas, and the rest of my inventory filled with baskets of bananas. There are bones scattered around, and I've often seen people recommend bringing bones to bananas tabs, but I found it's a lot faster to just bank when you are out and come back, rather than collect a bunch of bones and then leave the area to cast bones to banana, as you can't cast while holding a Grigri. The trapped monkeys drop damaged tails, which are worth nothing, but can be sliced with a knife into sinew while waiting for monkeys to get caught for 15 crafting XP apiece. If you're planning on AFKing actions in between, I would do something like tip dragon bolts with ruby or diamond tips, as this provides some decent passive GP an hour and better fletching XP than the small amount of crafting from the tails. The monkeys also have a 1 out of 5,000 chance to drop a monkey tail for the ballista, worth around 400k. This basically just pays for the bananas you use due to its extreme rarity. Because this has no pet drop, I typically prefer herbivore to these as it gives decent money and better XP, while being relatively low intensity, but monkeys are a very good option if you desperately need something to AFK. And that's it for the video. Leave a like if you liked it, and or subscribe. Thanks guys.